Good evening, fellow Plexers. Tonight we're going to help Larry. Larry can't access a new server. For a while he's run two servers, a main one and a temporary one, on two different Mac computers, Mac Minis. And he's taken the temporary one off and he's got new hardware, and now he can't access the server on that one. So I think it's simply unclaimed, or maybe it might have got assigned the same IP address as his old Mac computer. I'm not really sure, but I've got a little bit of worksheet stuff for him to go through in case my video doesn't solve his issue. So there's three ways to access a Plex server: through app.plex TV or through the Plex Player app for Linux, Mac, or Windows. But these two will only connect to a claimed server. The only way to access a new server or an old server that became unclaimed is with a direct IP address login. So my main server runs on an Intel NUC and points back to my newer Synology NAS. This would be the direct login address for that server. My older NAS is now a backup device for my main Synology NAS, and I have a little test install of Plex running in a Docker container on the old DS1019 Plus. This would be the direct login. So all Larry has to do is figure out the IP addresses of all three computers if the one he took the Plex server down on is still on the network. And to do that, you would log into your router through the web page or through the app on your phone. With my Deco X60 mesh system, I have limited access through the web, but I can see the client devices. So this is where Larry needs to make a little worksheet. Let me see. Here's my older NAS. This IP address matches this IP address. If I scroll further down, or maybe up, nope, down, this IP address of my NUC running unraid with my main Plex server on it matches this address. And Larry, if your older NUC your older Mac Mini that doesn't have a server on it is still running on your network, list that IP address too, and get a little worksheet going so in case you got to share a screenshot with me, I know what device is what IP address. Okay, so now I need to bring Plex in. All right, so let's do the web app. I double clicked, I didn't need to. So I'll go into the settings, and now I'm looking at, what am I looking at? Authorized devices. I want to switch from all to server. And here's my main server. I can't remove that because a friend or family member is streaming. But here's my test server, and I can give that the boot. It's gone. And there's no way to get it back with a web app or the Plex Player app for Linux, Windows, or Mac. Totally impossible. But, all right, let me close down some of my Chrome apps. This is Fedora running the Budgie desktop. It's an atomic spin. I use it for a lot of my videos instead of my default Linux desktop lately. But I don't like how it handles multiple instances of apps in the tray. With Elementary OS, which I've used for a long time, or Pop OS that I'm testing out on my other NVMe, each Chrome app gets its own place on the plank or the dock, and it's much nicer than Budgie. I'm really loving this Budgie Fedora atomic spin, except for how it handles Chrome apps. Okay, so I got a new window open, and we're going to access and claim this server with this address. So this is the formula: http:// your actual IP address of your server hardware :32400/web. If you leave the web off, it won't work. If you put in an S for secure, it won't work either. So paste that right into the URL window. Pick my user. Pin myself in. And go to the gear, or the wrench. And now if I go to, not general there, general under settings, and you'll see that the same server name came back. If I go to general under settings, you'll see this orange triangle here and there, and that I've lost remote access with a red exclamation point. All I have to do is claim the server. And because this server already had remote access gained by having the correct port forwarded in the past, it will gain remote access a second time without me having to manually do anything. If it's a brand new server, I have a remote access video tutorial on my channel to follow. Okay, so I've gained remote access, and now if I slide back up to authorized devices to server, you'll see both servers are back. And now if I start the web app again, both servers are here. So the web app can't reclaim a server or access a new server for the first time. And neither can the Plex Player app for your operating system, which is really just a clone of the web app. Neither one can see a new server until it's claimed. But the direct IP address is where it's at. So Larry, if that doesn't get you going, do a worksheet. If all three of your Macs are online, connected to your internet, find out the IP address for each of them, label them by which server name you have on at each IP address, and tell me which one doesn't have a server, and that screenshot will be able to help me figure out what may be going on if this doesn't solve the issue. Thanks for watching, and happy Plexing.